Okay, this is the Devops mock interview day 36. We have already completed 35 mock interviews. Whoever watching this video on the YouTube, if you want to watch the 35 mock interviews, you can go to playlist section. There you can find Devops interview question and answers. Please like this video. If I get at least 40 likes on this video, we are going to continue. So if not, we are not going to upload any mock interviews. And today Sunil and Ansati is going to participate. So hi Sunil, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sir. Thank you so much, sir. To introduce myself, my name is Sunil Shikalwadi, a software engineer with 5 years of experience in the industry, and my expertise spans several critical areas of a modern software development and operations. I'm a proficient in a version control system using Git and have a hands-on experience with a continuous integration through a Jenkins. And in terms of a configuration management, I utilize Ansible. And my skills also include in the containerization with the Docker and the Kubernetes, and enabling efficient deployment and scaling of applications. For monitoring and logging, I rely on a Grafana to ensure a system performance. Additionally, I leverage infrastructure as a code, Terraform and AWS Cloud Formation to automate and manage infrastructure development efficiently. This is all about this.
Sunil, you are perfect. Your introduction was perfect. But whatever the pitch you are maintaining at the beginning, you are missing that in the ending. So you need to maintain the same, okay, same communication and same. So as you are ending the introduction, you are
Yeah.
getting stuck.
Like from 2 days, sir, I'm not feeling well, so that's the reason I think.
Okay, okay. You should not tell me that these reasons, okay?
Okay.
So if you tell this in the real interview, they will like accept, no, right? They just want a candidate who have a skill. So
Yeah.
you should not tell about your negative points.
Okay, sir. I'll not.
So you can tell definitely thank you for your feedback. In the next time, I will try to improve. It's
Oh,
okay. You might be having some health issues and all, but no one cares about your health.
yeah.
I know, like as a trainer, I can understand you are not feeling well, but I'm telling interview perspective. So I'm treating this as a real interview. That's the reason.
Yeah.
I might be wrong sometimes, but right.
Yeah, that's okay so much.
Okay. So Aniseti, Sunil, you are perfect. So compared to other mock interviews, these mock interviews you have performed well. Even though if your health is not good, I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you
Before
perform,
you gave now one feedback, right? Our pitch and our speed is
yeah,
so that's
whatever you are delivered, right? It's natural. I'm not telling it's reading script
yeah,
and all. It's natural, but after like 50%, it's okay. After 50%,
yeah.
I'm getting feeling that you are reading something. For the
Okay,
first 50%, it's okay, but
okay,
remaining there is some gaps. That's the reason it's like you are reading something.
okay,
So
okay,
maintain the same pitch from starting to ending, so that interviewer will impress.
okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Anyway, it will improve. It will definitely improve. So
Yeah,
compared to starting, right, you have improved a lot.
no,
In the next, definitely you will improve. And if you perform like this in the real interviews, right, you
yeah,
will definitely qualify first round of interview. I will not tell the second round, but first round you will qualify. You will go to next round.
okay.
So Aniseti, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you giving this opportunity. My name is Aniseti, a DevOps engineer with 5 years of experience, currently working Greatech Software Private Limited in Hyderabad. My skill set AWS is 3 VPC, CloudWatch, AWS. Coming to my DevOps, I'm well versed to continue integration and deployment and using Jenkins along with build automation through Maven. I have experience with code quality, security tools, SonarQube, and JFrog, as well configuration management using Ansible. In the realm of containerization, I work with Docker and Kubernetes for orchestrating and scaling applications. My proficiency in infrastructure as a code demonstrated through my use of Terraform. Additionally, I'm skilled in shell scripting to automate tasks, the Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring and visualization. My background equipped me efficient and reliable DevOps practice in any dynamic environment. That's it from my side. Thank you.
So yeah, Aniseti, your introduction was good, but it is still I'm getting feeling that you are reading something. Okay, and
Okay.
you are keeping like you are just adding gaps. Like for suppose if you are telling Docker and Kubernetes, then after you are giving a gap. So Docker and Kubernetes as a orchestration tool. Okay, you need to complete
Okay.
that. If it is related to one tool,
Okay.
you should not give a gap. You need to complete that about that particular tool.
Okay.
So Sunil,
Okay.
if you have any feedback, please give him from your side.
Yeah, sir. As you said, the same feedback I need to give. And if we compare previous mock interview, but he improved a lot. This interview, like he maintained the same pitch and all.
Yeah. So compared to other mock interviews, as Sunil said, you have improved a lot. In the previous mock interviews, it is more like you are reading something, but now it was reduced to 80%. If you continue like this, it should be 0%, so that it should be like natural. Whenever people hear about your introduction, they feel you are telling from your heart. Okay, I'm getting feeling that you are
Okay.
reading something, so it treat this as a genuine feedback. I will update this mock interview in the like in the YouTube channel, so once you check it out, okay, by seeing your introduction on yourself, you will get to know like that you need to improve.
Okay.
Okay, shall we start today's mock interview?
Yes, sir.
So this is the Docker mock interview, Docker, mostly on Docker. And by next mock interview, Docker will complete. Then after we'll go to Kubernetes. Okay.
Okay.
So can you able to explain how Docker multi-stage build works? Docker multi-stage build. How do you handle application updates in a Dockerized environment without downtime? How do you handle application updates that too in a Dockerized environment without downtime?
We can create on Docker containers.
Already Docker container is running. Okay, application was already running. I am asking about how you will handle that. So what is Docker overlay network and when would you use it? So what is a Docker overlay network and when would you use it? So next question, how do you troubleshoot networking issues in Docker containers? How do you troubleshoot networking issues in Docker containers?
To checking the network logs,
Okay, what is the command?
uh, Docker network ls
Okay. So
will
what
get.
are the steps you will follow if Docker container is not getting any network? So explain how Docker manages resource limits for CPU and memory. How Docker manages resource limits for CPU and memory. How do you integrate Docker into CI/CD pipeline? I will repeat the question again. How do you integrate Docker into a CI/CD pipeline?
We use plugins,
Okay,
Docker plugin.
you are right. Super. We will install Docker plugins. You right. Then after we will
Yes.
get the Docker future. Then after we will configure Docker and we will write a pipeline script. Right.
Yes. Yes.
Super. I want this type of involvement. Explain how you would use Docker for local development and testing. So in the development or testing moment, how you would use Docker. Whatever you know, you can tell. Even though if it is wrong, it's okay. We will check the answer again, right? But we
Sir, container is the application. Create a Docker file for your application
super
and explain the Docker file. If you take one example from Node, we will take one base image for Node.js.
super. You are
You
right.
take a work.dir user, work.dir like slash user slash src slash app. If you take a copy means package star.json. Run command will take a npm install.
Okay.
So we can build like that.
You cannot you no need to tell about the technical part. So if they ask you, right, what is Docker file, what are the Docker instructions, then you can explain this run, write,
Okay.
copy, whatever it may be. Here the question is how would you use Docker for local development and testing. Then you can tell whatever you know. So you said I will use Docker file, I will create a Docker image. So that is okay. You don't need to go in depth.
Okay.
If he ask, then go, because
Okay.
you will tell something. He will ask in-depth questions, so he will try to demotivate you by asking that type of questions because you have given him a chance. You will tell okay, I will use copy. Then they will ask, okay, where from where you will copy, what is the path, right? Like that they will try to ask the questions in such a way. Okay, you are getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's okay. This is a mock. I know you are trying something,
Yes.
so I need to give you the feedback I'm giving. Okay, you can do more mistakes in this mock, so that you will get to know. Okay, if you don't do it. Now you have said something, that's the reason I can able to give you a feedback, yes or no.
Yes, sir.
If you doesn't answer, then you will not get. So that's the reason I'm asking you to tell something, whatever it may be. Even though if mistakes, you will get a feedback. You will not do that mistake in the real interview. By that you are getting a chance for selecting.
Yes.
Okay, how do you manage different environments with Docker? There are doubt
First we
staging of
create
production.
fir- first we create a Docker image,
Okay.
then development and staging and production.
This is a real-time question. They will ask, how do you managing your different environments with Docker? Anyway, we will check the answers. No need to worry. But whatever you are getting in your mind, you can try.
So we can use environment variable like
Super.
using a data env file.
You are right. So we can use environmental variable. By using the environmental variable, we can
Yes.
divide. We can use particular environmental variable according to the requirement, according to the environment.
And we can use a base docker compose data YAML file.
Yes. Super. And we can divide. We can maintain the different directories according to the requirement, according to the particular development environment. If it is development environment, we will have a separate folder for the development. For staging, separate. For prod, separate. So that like that we can able to manage.
And docker file multi-stage also we can develop so like environment specific images.
Yeah. So what are the advantages of using private Docker registry and how do you set it up? So this is not a Docker hub, private Docker registry. And how do you set it up? In the previous company which I worked, right, there they told me to set up the private Docker registry. They don't want to use Docker hub. What they have did, they want to make one server as a Docker hub. Getting my point? They have given me one server, right? They told me to do that server as a Docker hub. That is called as a private Docker registry. So that no one can able to hack, right? We are maintaining the private Docker registry. So now you can ask me from where we will get the Docker images. From Docker hub itself. Whatever the Docker hub images I want, first I will download to that private Docker registry server. So internally, whenever I want, right, any images, what I will do, I will pull the images not from Docker hub, from my private server, which I make it a Docker private registry. You are getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So you can set up this. Okay, you can easily
And
set up.
we can secure the data uh, access control based on
Yes, super.
RBAC.
Yes, you are right. So how would you automate the deployment of Docker containers in a production environment? Very important question. Automate the deployment of Docker containers in a production environment.
Yeah, we use it on automation code. We take on Git.
We can use auto scaling, right? Using auto
Yes.
scaling, we can able to deploy the deployment. Anyway, we will check answers. Okay. Now today we have 15 questions. Okay. If we cover more questions, it will be an advantage for you itself. Okay. What is the difference between? Is it okay, right? Shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes,
Only
okay.
5 questions. What is the difference between Docker Swarm and Kubernetes? This is very important question. In every interview, they will ask. Without this question, no interview will be there. And when would you choose one other the other, or like over the other? Nothing but when you will choose Docker Swarm, when you will choose Kubernetes. If you ask me, right, for development environment, I will choose Docker Swarm. For production, I will use Kubernetes. One answer I have given. So you think what is the difference of Docker Swarm and Kubernetes, and when you will choose that particular thing? One answer I've given you. For development, I can use Docker Swarm because there is no harm if something happens in the development. Production is environment because traffic will come to production environment.
Sir, understand. Can I?
Yeah, definitely you can try.
If you talk understanding the difference between Docker and Kubernetes will help you know when the choose over developing on the needs to your application environment.
Anisity, you can Google it in the backend. Docker Swarm versus Kubernetes.
And we can create
Okay.
containerization. Docker allows you to encapsulate application and their dependencies in isolated container using the Docker file. We can run the containers and manage the images. We talk about Kubernetes means it's an open source orchestration tool platform that helps manage and automate the deployment, scaling, and operations. Contains it provides the features and it's automated the development, self-healing, scaling, load balancing, and services balancing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting the point that you are reading something. Whenever you answer right, you opposite person should not feel that you are reading something. I can easily tell that you are just Googled and you are reading. It's okay if you are even if you are reading, you don't go fast. So tell little bit slow so that opposite person will get to know. Okay, he's thinking and he's answering the question.
Okay.
If you tell speedily, right, then I get to know easily. No candidate can able to speak speedily, right? That too in professional manner. Because from the starting you are just speaking normally, but suddenly your communication become fast. So automatically we will get it. And you said Kubernetes is an open source. Oh, Docker Swarm is also open source. Okay, you need to
That,
answer the question smartly. Docker is also open source, right?
yeah, both are open source, sir.
Yeah. Then they will definitely raise a question. If you are telling Kubernetes is an open source, so you need to think and answer so that what question he will ask if I tell this. You need to think that one as well. If you ask me this, I will answer this. You are getting my point? You need to prepare
Yes, sir.
in that way. It's
Yes, sir.
okay. For the first time, it's okay. If you in the interview, in the real interview, whenever they ask, right,
Hmm.
I will provide the answer anyway. Just go through it.
Hmm.
So in the real interview, whenever they ask, you can answer this one. So how do you perform rolling update in Docker Swarm? Right, in the Kubernetes, you will be having a rolling update, but same rolling update, how you will perform that in the Docker Swarm? Explain how service discovery works in Docker Swarm. Explain how service discovery works in Docker Swarm. Here there is a full rain just now started. There is the rain in your city.
No, in our city there is no rain, sir.
Okay, okay,
Bangalore situation is like that. But
okay.
I heard Hyderabad and Telangana.
Yeah, yeah. Here full just now like 10 minutes back started.
Uh,
Full rain. Yeah, you know about Vijayawada, right?
I heard, sir. I
Yeah, yeah.
the Vijayawada and Telangana, Hyderabad.
Okay. So how do you handle node failures in Docker Swarm cluster? So this is also one type of interview question which is important. Okay, I'm collecting the questions in such a way you will max come the questions out of this mock interview itself. Even some people called me by watching my videos in the YouTube, and they directly tell me. Yesterday I got a call from one person. He have asked me when the new batch of Docker will, like DevOps will start. So I have seen your mock interviews. When recently I attended some interviews, whatever the questions you are raising in the mock interview, same questions I'm getting in the real interview. He told me this, so that I'm getting some confidence. Okay, whatever the questions I'm collecting, this is all real time. Because if someone comes to me and tell me, then only I can able to tell. Okay, really they are asking these questions. So if you follow the mock interviews, right, I am maintaining separate playlist for every tool. Just to blindly go through that playlist. Okay, go through that interview question and answers. That is more than enough to crack an interview. I can tell that confidently because I'm getting feedback from multiple people. Depending upon that feedback, I'm
Yeah.
telling. So not blindly, I'm telling that this is the only questions I will get. Okay, yeah, I might be wrong. You attend interviews and tell so that collect some questions and come to me. I will add it in the upcoming mock as well.
Yes, yes, Docker Swarm.
So how do you migrate a Dockerized application from Docker Swarm to Kubernetes? Nothing but my applications are running in Docker Swarm. I want to migrate it to the Kubernetes cluster. So this is also one type of real-time question itself, right? Now companies are using Docker Swarm. Recently, like so, just imagine. I'm just imagining Kubernetes came into the market. Now a company want to shift to Kubernetes. They don't want to use Docker Swarm. At that time, how you will migrate that? That is the question. So whatever you comes into your mind, answer the question. If you do the mistake, I will give the feedback.
Migrating from a Docker Swarm to Kubernetes involves some several steps. Like two container orchestration system have a different architecture and failures. To ensure a smooth, you need to plan, execute the process carefully. So we can access our current setup, inventory, and the dependency. We can set a data. So set up a Kubernetes cluster, like managing AWS EKS. We can on-premise server self-hosted. We can use the tools like a Kubedium, Minikube, so on.
Okay. So whatever you tried, right? Okay. Still, you are reading something. I can able to easily identify. So do you want to check the answers?
Yes, sir.
So explain how Docker multi-stage build works. For answer, Multi-stage build allow you to use multi-from statements in a Docker file. Yes or no?
Yes.
Where each stage can copy artifacts from previous stage. This helps in reducing the final image size by copying only necessary files to the final image. Okay? Just read this, or I will update, right? Whenever I update, make a note of it. When you are attending interviews, if they ask you what is Docker multi-stage build, you can able to answer this, right? How do you
Yes.
handle application updates in a Dockerized environment without downtime? So use strategies like blue-green deployment, rolling update, or A/B testing to update application with zero downtime. So super, right? I can maintain two environment. One is blue, another one is green. Okay. I will send traffic to which environment? To green environment. I will make updates on the blue environment. Right? Let me check. Am I right or not? Blue, green deployment. So blue-green deployment is a software development technique that uses two identical production environment to reduce downtime and risk when deploying software. A deployment strategy in which create two separate but identical environments. One environment blue is running in current application version, and one environment green is running new application version. Okay, traffic will come to blue. Okay, this is the load balancer. Traffic will go to blue environment. In the new version will be on the green environment. Okay, it's my mistake. Sorry for that. So traffic will go to blue environment. If there is any new features, you will not do it in the this environment. You will do in the this simple real life example. Okay, I have a business. I will run a business of selling mangoes. Okay, or no mango, not mangoes. Let me take t-shirts. Okay, what I
Okay.
will do? I will I will have a shop where I will maintain my t-shirts. Okay, I now customers requesting new designs. What I will do, I will purchase that new design. I will keep that new design in my separate godown. Okay, so that I will upgrade my t-shirts right in the back end in the godown, not in the real shop. Okay, getting my point? I'm just trying to explain this with real life example.
Yes.
Like that, you need to maintain two shops. One shop for active customers, one shop for purchasing new items and storing that. Okay, if something happens to this shop, I can have another shop as a backup, so that I can able to tell my customers to go there. Here there is some what I can say renovation, something like repair is happening. You can go to this shop. Yes or no?
Yes.
In the same way, in real time, without downtime, companies will maintain like this. They will set up a load balancer. They will send the traffic to the blue. Okay. Then after, if it is working, new version is working perfectly, then what they will do? They will just remove the traffic from blue. They will send the traffic to green. Okay. Then they, again new feature will be started. Will be new versions will be worked on this. Okay, like this. You can see multiple images. Load balancer, right? Traffic will go to blue environment. You are getting my point, right? Is there any confusion? Load balancer,
Yes, sir.
blue, green. Okay, shall we go to next question?
Yes.
So how do this one we have already discussed? What is a Docker overlay network? When would you use it? An overlay network allows container or different Docker host to communicate securely. Yes or no? If there are multi host, then you will use overlay. I have expected an answer from you, but no one has tried. Overlay where you will use in the Kubernetes also you will use overlay network itself. In Docker Swarm also you will use Docker overlay itself. Right? In multi-host environment you will use. So if you see it is used in Swarm mode. So I know that answer. Okay. Multi-host environment where services needs to communicate across different physical or virtual machines. So how do you troubleshoot networking issues in Docker containers? So use commands like docker network inspect, docker exec container ID, right? You can ping the IP address, right? And docker logs to diagnose network connectivity, DNS resolution or configuration issues. Explain how Docker manages resource limits for CPU and memory. Docker allows you to set resource constants using flags like memory and CPU. Docker run command minus memory minus CPU. You can set the limits for your container, okay, while creating the Docker container. How do you integrate Docker into CI/CD pipeline? Integrate Docker by building images in the CI/CD pipeline using tools like Jenkins, right? Circle CI, GitLab CI. So I have expected this, but you didn't answer that, right? I have told we can use Docker, sorry, pipeline script. So nothing but we will use Jenkins. Explain how would you use Docker for local development and testing environment. Use Docker to create consistent development environment by defining services, dependencies, and configuration in Docker file and Docker Compose file. This ensures the developers can and CI pipelines use the same environment. So next question, how do you manage different environment? Okay, use different Docker Compose files for each environment, or use Docker Swarm by Kubernetes to manage different stacks, environment specific configuration. So whatever you said, right, we can maintain environmental variable, right, with environmental variable secrets and config maps. What are advantages of using private Docker registry and how do you set it up? A private Docker registry allows you to securely store. So whatever you said, right, you are right, and share Docker images within an organization. I told you, right. Set it up Docker registry image, configure authentication, and optionally use TLS to secure access. How would you automate the deployment of Docker containers in a production environment? Automate deployment using CI/CD tools along with orchestration platform like Docker Swarm or Kubernetes. Use infrastructure as a code tool like Terraform or Ansible to define and manage infrastructure and container deployment. So how do you perform a rolling update in Docker Swarm? So use Docker service update with the -n update parallelism and -n update delay options to control the rolling update process for a SW. But no one use Docker Swarm. But still, if you want to do using Docker Swarm, you can use extra command. Okay, minus update parallelism. Explain how service discovery works in Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm provides built-in service discovery, allowing containers to communicate using service names. DNS entries for services are automatically created and updated as service scales or change. Okay, Docker Swarm have a inbuilt feature itself. Built-in service discovery, allowing containers to communicate using service names. By using service names, you can able to communicate. How do you handle node failures in Docker Swarm cluster? Docker Swarm automatically reschedule containers from failed nodes to healthy ones, as long as there are sufficient resources. Swarm managers should be set up in high available configuration to avoid single point of failures. Okay, okay, you are getting my point, right? Docker Swarm was smart. He will automatically migrate, right? Sorry, node failures, right? Sorry, not migrate.
Node failures.
Yes, Docker Swarm automatically reschedules containers from failed nodes to healthy one. So if node is failing, container will automatically create it on the healthy one. That's what he's telling. It is an inbuilt feature which have. So how do you migrate a Dockerized application? This is avoid. This is optional. I'm just working on this. Ignore.
Okay.
How do you migrate a Dockerized applications from Docker Swarm to Kubernetes? Migrate by converting Swarm service definitions to Kubernetes resources like deployment service and config maps. Use tools like Compose to assist with the conversion and update CI/CD pipelines accordingly. Okay, they are telling use tool like Compose. Or what we can do? We can use the Docker image, right? We can use the Docker image. We can push the Docker image, Docker hub or private registry. We can use the same Docker image and we can create a deployment service file. Getting my point? Rather than creating a Docker container, what we can do? We can use a deployment service file in the Kubernetes and we can use the updated version. At least we can use the updated Docker image deployment in the Kubernetes cluster rather than deploying directly on the Docker Swarm. Okay, that's it for today. I will going to stop the recording.